Hello, everyone. I am Rose Ogutu. I work as a horticulture specialist at Delaware State University, where I also work as the Delaware State Coordinator of the Northeast SARE. And SARE is a Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education for the Northeast. I am a member of AI Leaf, and I work there as a person who's doing extension, just reaching out. During this project today, this spotlight interview, I would like to answer a few questions. Can you describe your current research and how it connects with AI Leaf? I work as an extension specialist, so connecting farmers with the latest agricultural knowledge practices. In fact, I am a conduit between the researcher and the farmer, not doing the research, but very interested in the research. So in AI Leaf, I am part of the team that's assisting with broadening participation. That is increasing the involvement of diverse groups into this concept of AI. We should all remember that extension actually feeds back into research. As an extension and education group cohort, we have served to provide surveys that help the team to get a feel of what farmers' viewpoint is and what the farmers want. Farmers are very practical, so they always want help that will make them sustainable. In this respect, the information that we gather helps shape the research that, or even just formulate the research hypothesis that happens at AI. Working with community of farmers, we've also found ourselves helping to demystify this AI concept, especially towards the beginning of the project. The next question, can you describe how your project is trying to meaningfully improve outcomes in land management or crop productivity? So as an extension person at DSU, I actually reach out to majorly small farmers or just limited resource growers, working with specialty crop growers to enhance productivity. And that means, outreach to stakeholders, concocting some educational programs, workshops, having to reach out clientele during farm school projects, beginner farmers, or interns that are involved in ag activities, and even youth groups. So in a nutshell, I am reaching out to stakeholders. My work with AI has really worked perfectly or fitted perfectly because I've always been working with farmers at a time, and especially at this time when there's that quest for more controlled environmental management. What do I do during this erratic weather pattern event? What do I grow? What choice of a crop is that? What new pests are envisaged and such? This project that I work with, it just dovetails with AI. AI in ag says that they are innovation, and it always touts the pride in resource efficiency, increased productivity, environmental conservation. And that is what all my work is about. So when it comes to teaching farmers about sustainability, what AI promises is actually the very content that I need to talk to my farmers about. Some of the promising uses of AI in sustainable agriculture have been the use of precision agriculture, and farmers are now able to make data-driven decisions regarding crop management, soil health monitoring, and so forth. The adoption rate is really going high, and that is a good thing. Or smart irrigation, AI-powered irrigation systems have increasingly being used by our growers. They've helped conserve water quite a bit. We have classical examples whereby some mid-sized farms that are maybe producing blueberries and strawberries have, moved from manual drip irrigation and adopted maybe precision drip irrigation. And these are controlled by AI platforms using numerous sensors, flow meters, and so forth. And of course, their water usage has dropped tremendously. Now, pest and disease detection or pest and disease management is one thing that, the farmer, they're always asking about that. And AI algorithms can analyze images. They can use their apps to detect, the pests, detect these diseases early, and so forth. So there are so many innovators that have worked to make this possible. Also, yield prediction and crop selection. Now, using some of the machine learning models, they can actually predict yields based on some historical data. And we have a lot of tools that are online that we can point them towards. One of the things that gets the farmer also is the money. So the supply chain optimization, the AI can actually enhance efficiency in agricultural supply chain by predicting demand, optimizing some of the logistics that can help reduce food waste and so forth. And this kind of gives us, a more sustainable food system. That's a connection between my project and what is AI Live. Now, some of the challenges, the cost of some of these technologies, one of the things they were talking about is the high cost of some of the machinery that they're using, some of the technology. So this can be a barrier for smallholder farmers. There is also a gap knowledge in skills, and there's a lot of training that has to go forth. I've also visited some sites whereby, when you are into using apps and internet and so forth, the internet is not very adequate for all this. Another thing with AI is whenever we have meetings, we're always talking about data. If the data is not right, if it's not standardized, then I always have a feeling that there's a problem. There has to be a way of making sure that data is right on. But at the same time, there's also this problem of sharing of data, immense sharing of data, which sometimes invades people's privacy, and farmers might not like them. So they could actually design cases of propositions whereby we don't have to run into that. Many farmers are now integrating, be it using sensors in their farms to kind of get into smart irrigation, having their phones receive some timely insights when it comes to weather and so forth. Most farmers now even buy precision tractors and models that kind of use this AI data. They also use some of the technologies to help alleviate labor problems. We all know robots and so forth. Looks like in the very near future, this will be very commonplace. Right now, it might be cost inhibitive, but I see it really, taking root in the future. Another question that I would like to tackle is, where do you see the biggest research gaps or opportunities in the next 5 to 10 years? Just as I mentioned, data collection is key. It has to be properly done if AI has to continue being more useful. And then yes, other challenges have to be addressed as much. Financial barriers, how do we make sure that some of these technologies are available to the small grower? At the same time, farmers should also assess this long-term benefit against some of the initial costs and determine what is more viable for them. Now, one of the things I mentioned again is data security, for example. How can we ensure that there is secure data collection, that the storage and the sharing is always crucial? So how do we even protect other people's data? So this will require some robust cybersecurity, which of course, and some of the data management practices, which should be incorporated in future research. Now, education and training is very key. Right now, I would say many ag professionals may lack experience in advanced technologies, although we've had so many training programs and some ongoing support that are effective. And these are helping really bridge the gap between the traditional farming practices and these new technologies. Going forward, I think we should just step up with that. People have spoken openly about the need to safeguard that transparency when it comes to data. So let us just safeguard people's privacy and do the right thing when it comes to data. My last question is actually, what is the most surprising insight that I've gained from working with AI? I wouldn't say this is surprising, but I would say it's a realization. The realization that teamwork makes our all. That, we work as teams, but in the long run, it's like one thing achieved. This has really, really worked well in AI Live. We have researchers, we have educators, we have all kinds of people. And sometimes you wonder, what is the other person doing? But we have these meetings whereby, we have the all hands meeting, and they've been really, really helpful. Now, from them, I have learned, stuff that have helped me reach out to my stakeholders, because ours is to simplify the whole concept. So, I've learned some of the techniques and the models, some of the scientific terms that would be very hard to even understand if it wasn't for them explaining it. So I would say that I've learned some of the deep learning approaches, some of those key models and techniques, and how they relate to the work that I do. So in simple ways, at least I've learned that. Another thing is that this group is really great. It's actually a repository of talent, and I find it very useful when it comes to inviting resource persons. So, you get to know who knows what. And if I needed a person to help me through any of my workshops to reach out to my stakeholders, then I know who to get a hold of. So, it's a team, and it makes our all. It's teamwork, but then we kind of project it to one, achieving the goals. So I like that. Now I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity, and I think that's it. Thank you.